Hello, Kyo Chung and Jin Ae Lee. You're from the Pusan National University in Pusan, in Korea. Could you tell me why you're here? Which of you would like to answer that question?
I'll like first. I'm here to convince the seaweed could be a practical and sustainable way of mitigation and adaptation measures in context of climate change, because seaweed can draw down carbon dioxide. Also, we can make a seaweed as paper. Also, we can convert seaweed into biofuels. So these are practical solutions to climate change.
And now, is this a new thing, or haven't we been doing this for a while?
We've been here for like COP13, so we just convince people, but seeing is believing. So our stuff is below the sea level, so we cannot see and above the sea level. So, but currently we have many responses and echoes from many audiences.
So, what are the weaknesses of seaweed then?
Weaknesses? Well, as I said, it's kind of comparing to trees. It just grows of 3 to 5 years, but we can make it that as carbon dioxide sink in the biomass captured in seawater. And that's the problem, because it's a too short time period.
So have you had any impact on the negotiations so far? What have been the successes for you in terms of people you've spoken to, results you've achieved?
We are not in like approved mechanisms, not approved yet. We just developed new methodology. Also, we're preparing a new project design document. So we are preparing a big project for, you said, is kind of under UNFCCC's venue.
And so, in terms of the next 5 years, what do you think seaweed could achieve in terms of targets?
We developed a CCRB, means coastal carbon dioxide removal belt in coastal areas. So that can be recognized as a carbon dioxide sink, as well as we can produce seaweed biomass, turn into red paper, also biofuels, which can reduce tree cutting on the land, also reduce carbon dioxide or fossil fuel using in the land. So these kind of things are together with Asian Pacific Ecological Associations, which is has a topic we have. We have a network activities. So here's secretary of the activities here. You can ask her.
Hi, my name is Jin Ae Lee. I'm working as a secretary of the Asian Network for using algae as a CO2 sink. It's under the umbrella of Asian Pacific Ecological Association. That working group was initiated to enhance the collaboration of member countries in conducting researches in CO2 removal by marine life mechanism, mainly the algae, seaweed. And so far, the participating nations are 12 countries among Asian Pacific regions. Recently, there have been many interest in potential of coastal vegetation as a carbon sink. We know that at least 50% of carbon are fixed by the marine vegetation, and 70% of marine storage in the sediment is covered by the marine primary producers. So we know that the critical role of a healthy ocean based on the marine primary producers is very critical in real CO2 removal eventually. And we know that the terrestrial ecosystem are well understood in terms of rewarding system of UNFCCC, such as REDD, REDD Plus, and AR. But however, the the role of marine vegetation, such as tidal salt marsh and mangroves and kelp forest and seagrass meadows, is not well understood yet. So the aim of our network is to speak out the role of healthy vegetation, such as kelp, is very important in real CO2 sequestration.
So practically, on a big scale, what would need to happen to get kelp more used for sequestration, etc.?
Well, we say plant trees on lands. Why not plant seaweeds in seawater? So the more the better, I think. But sometimes in aquaculture activities make some nuisance around coastal areas, but that's minor things. If you develop, like I said, coastal carbon removal belt is a unit, our concept or implementation plan. So with this one, there is not that kind of problems happen.
So it's almost like plant a tree a day, plant a piece of seaweed a day. And so what kind of numbers are we talking about? What kind of numbers, quantities?
Quantity? Mm-hmm. Well, so far we have about 2-year pilot farm, front pilot farm, about 5 to 10 kilogram per carbon dioxide per hectare per year. That means almost equivalent a drawdown carbon sink to terrestrial or forest carbon sinks. It's almost same range of carbon dioxide sink. Now we're growing ecolonia and laminaria stuffs. One more thing, for the LG paper, we're using gelidium, which can make agar in your life.
Okay, thank you very much, both of you. That's very good.
Thank you very much.